Welcome to the pod at My Village.
Well, we're going to have fun talking all things My Village Ministries, family preservation, and the church's involvement in this important work.
We are Phil and Mel, and we don't know anything about running a podcast, but we do know a little something about family preservation.
Melody.
Yes.
What are you and your family going to be doing? You got a Ohio State shirt on.
Yes.
It's Beat Michigan week.
Yes.
What are you going to do to mentally, physically, and spiritually prepare for the game on Saturday?
We're going to go to my brother's house to watch the game, and my cousins are coming. So my brother and his wife have 3 kids. Her sister's coming with her 5 kids. We're bringing our 5 kids,
Wow.
and my cousins are bringing their 6 kids.
It's a lot of kids.
So
what percentage of the kids will actually watch the game?
30.
Okay.
They're getting older. There will
That's
be some that just
respectable.
want to run around. Charlie will want to play football in the front yard. Charlie and Cameron and my brother's son and some others will all play football in the front yard for sure.
What percentage of the adults actually care about the game and will actually watch it?
Probably 80.
Okay.
Yeah, we're pretty
respect
into
that.
it. We're pretty into
I
it.
respect that.
I will be making 2 large trays of loaded ranch crinkle cut fries.
Holy. Why aren't we
He's
doing
like-
that for Papa's Pancake Day?
I don't know. Do you want me to make them?
We should.
They're just crinkle
Who does
cut
it?
fries with like ranch seasoning sprinkled on them and then cheese and bacon.
This is not a question that I was
Bacon.
going to ask, but this is a fun question that we can banter back and forth on. What's your favorite cut of fries?
Ooh, I am very
Crinkle,
particular about it.
Steak,
Crinkle's
waffle,
good. My main
curly?
thing is I want them to be like closer to a potato than like a shoestring. I don't want them to be like thin and crispy.
So you like the meaty kinds.
I do. I
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
There's a whole potato in this fry.
Like what the twice baked potato just happened.
Yes, and Jeff is the opposite. So he wants like the shoestring skinny, like it
No, that's
crunches
good.
when you
Balance,
bite
yeah.
into it.
Yeah, I like it like my pizza. I want the crust, much like what were we just talking about? French fries, to be crispy and crunchy, but I want the inside to be soft and kind of airy, fluffy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like
Sure.
when I make fries at home, I definitely I end it in the oven. If I do the oven and not deep fry, which
Yeah.
I've really walked away from because my arteries did not enjoy that anymore. But you got to end it on the broil.
So you want it to, I don't care. I don't really want them to
Really?
be crunchy at all,
Yeah.
rather
okay.
than be
Yeah.
mushy.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you?
I do really like them dipped in buffalo
How do-
sauce.
No, absolutely. Anyone should.
Okay, I have a really good question for you. This is from Lori Neff. Would you rather get a paper cut every time you turn a page or bite your tongue every time you eat?
Goodness sakes! Oh, for sure, paper cut.
Really?
Yeah, I enjoy eating too much, and eventually, at one point, you probably just couldn't eat.
Your tongue's just
Yeah,
swollen.
they say there's like 2 people in this world. One who, how does it go? Those who eat to live, those that live to eat. I live to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember not that long ago, our friend Ken, who will be on the podcast in the future, was in the office with us, and you were eating so fast that when you walked out of the room, he was like, "Is Phil okay?"
I enjoy food.
You were just so focused on eating.
Just
And I have
amazing.
had to learn that when we go to a meeting together, that's a lunch meeting, I have to do all the talking at the start. Because
Well-
when the food arrives, you will solely focus on eating.
No, that's a little bit of a, I don't know. That's not like, you do all the talking anyway. So
That's so
I know
true.
going into those meetings that I'm going to be able to participate in what I want to do the most. And that's actually
I feel like
eat
I'm
and not
making
talk to
a
anyone.
calculated decision that
Well-
if I don't talk, Phil's going to not be able to talk.
Agree to
His mouth is
disagree.
full.
We'll just have to agree to disagree. So.
All right.
If you had to, we're only doing one question today because we got to,
Okay.
right?
Sure.
Yeah.
I have another one, but it's serious and it'll take too long,
Yeah,
so let's just do one.
None of that. So if you had to move to anywhere else in the United States to live for like the next 20 years, it's not Columbus. It also cannot be Park City. Jeff.
Park City. My husband went to Park City, Utah.
And then like the first
we were all-
5
yeah.
minutes being there.
Yeah. We were all in Salt Lake City together, Phil and his wife and me and Jeff. And we were all at a conference and Jeff drove, like an hour up to Park City, Utah.
Yeah.
Within 5 minutes of arriving, he texted me, "This is my favorite place in the entire world." Wow. You made that decision really
Yeah.
quickly.
I felt like it was, it
was-
wasn't fully
yeah.
calculated.
It was
or
maybe
thought through.
hyperbolic.
No, yeah. But I would give it a top 12
Really?
vibe.
Yeah, I liked
Yeah.
it. Okay,
It's
so
exciting.
anywhere in the United States?
Yeah, in the United States. You have to live there. That's where you're going to build
live there.
community and everything for the next 20 years.
There's so many like nuances to that decision. I like want to pick somewhere moderate in climate, but I also want to pick somewhere where I can go to the beach every day.
Yeah.
I really love, if we're just talking about beauty and variety of, I don't even know the right word, like beaches, mountains, rainforests. I really love Hawaii.
Yeah.
I have some family there and some really special memories. And now we have some friends who live there. So I would even have some community.
Yeah.
And it is just stunningly beautiful. Not like any beach in the contiguous continental, whatever it's called, United States. It is really gorgeous. So
I have heard that most people that move there, the shelf life is not long because you kind of get stir crazy. Like I guess island life.
Yeah, that's why I was saying there's so many nuances.
Yeah.
I do feel like the longer I think about it, the more I would talk myself out of every choice that I made.
Fair.
It seems like North Carolina is like a really good like middle ground where you could be near the beach but have some seasonal experience.
Yeah, it's a good state.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ohio's not, unfortunately.
No.
But we're stuck here. We love our community
have some really good
and what we
people
get to
here.
do too much that we'll probably never leave.
But if there is an MVM Hawaii plant at some point, we could consider
sacrifice.
it. I'll sacrifice.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're just doing one question today because we really want to get to our guest. I alluded to it on our last podcast at the end, but we are going to have Allie Watson back, community coach supervisor with MVM, and we're going to be talking some more about Lament, walking through hard stories, with Miss Jess Seed, who is a host mom and has served with the ministry a long time. And you've all maybe seen her already on one of our story
She's
videos
already
that
famous.
we have on the website. She is already famous.
Yep.
So we really hope you guys enjoy their interview and enjoy a break from us.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Hey guys, as Melody mentioned, I'm here with Jess Seed. I'm Allie Watson. I'm one of our community coach supervisors on staff, and Jess is a dear friend and also a host family volunteer with us from Dwell Church, and known her for many years. I'm looking forward to this conversation. So just want to start off by letting you introduce yourself, Jess.
Sure. I'm Jess. I am, how long have we been a host family? Maybe like 3 years? Yeah, seems like 3 years. I'm not a dates person, so sometimes time gets, it's been really fun. Yeah, for 3 years, we also kind of like brought MVM to our church. So that's been really sweet to kind of see it grow in our church from the ground floor. Yeah, we've hosted kids through. It's been sweet to watch your family, Allie, do this. And then, you know, we got to watch it happening and then bring it into our home too, which is sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was a teed up opportunity for me to start with my first question for you, was that you had seen me walk through this. Jess and I also live in the same neighborhood. We're neighbors and our kids are buddies, which is just really sweet. And we actually, in our neighborhood, have this sweet conglomerate of MVM host families. And so before you even started serving, you had seen several families and dear friends in our neighborhood say yes to this and walk through hard things. So you were going into it blind. And so even after seeing those things, what still caused you to say yes to doing the hard work?
Yeah, I had been in a season of my life and my family where we all were having I don't know if it was a call from God or a season of wanting something exciting and new. And I think that I was having this is hard. I see that it's really hard. But if we're going to do what we say we believe, sometimes we have to step into the hard. I didn't feel afraid. I felt like I saw a challenge. I also saw my friends, dear friends, I saw that their relationship with Jesus I could just see that there was something really real happening in the tears that was when I say I'm walking with Jesus, I think I was in a point in my life where I was like, yeah, I'm walking with Jesus. I met the Lord in high school. What does that actually mean here and now? And, you know, I think our family as a whole, Dave and I had kind of been like, what is next for us? And so I think watching my friends, even though I was seeing them walk through really hard things and lament, I had a sense of the Lord is still very real here, and maybe more so. Like maybe the hard is part of the close that I'm seeing and I want. I think that is kind of, I'd be lying if I said, yeah, so I went in eyes wide open and, like you just don't really know until you live it. But I think I did see my friends suffering or grieving maybe is the right word, but I also saw their relationship with Jesus be real. Yeah.
You are really good at being intentional with people too when they're walking through hard things. So when I say like you saw us walking through hard things, you were someone who has frequently, even in my life, like taken time out of your life to walk alongside people and friends going through hard things and dig in and be present. So I think you were especially present for that.
Yeah, I'm an empath, which sounds nice. Some ways, empathy is hard because I saw and felt some of that suffering of like, oh, that looks hard, empaths can kind of feel what other people feel, and that's a beautiful thing, but sometimes it's hard, it makes you like really have that compassion. Yeah.
What have been some of the highs and lows now that your family has in it? I think one thing I heard you say that I connected with is you can't predict how you're going to feel in this ministry, the highs and the lows, because it's a wild thing. You are inviting people into your personal space, into your home, into your lives. And as much as you see others walk through that, you can't fully prepare. So in your experience, what have some of those, highs and praises been, and what have some of the hard moments been for both you and as a mom of 3 kids?
Yeah, I think that some of the highs it's weird. I think you said this in the last podcast, but some of the highs are seeing my children handle the lows and like watching their faith become real when they say like, I am so sad about this child that we aren't in a relationship with anymore, or whatever, just the end of a hosting, and watching them say, Mom, I'm so sad, what can I do? And then being able to say, hey, let's pray together. Let's give that to Jesus, he cares. And watching them believe and like their faith becoming real in that moment is a high for me in a weird place. It's like I'm seeing my children really, their faith is not just, answering the one word Jesus answer. It means something to them. Another high is just like really watching them, my whole family, be unified in a mission and a purpose. I think that it really was an answered prayer when I'm saying like, why would I say yes to this hard thing? And we felt like our family is lacking some direction as a family. Like, what is our purpose? And seeing the Lord really answer that is a huge high for us in the time of hosting, where I have 3 kids, 16, 15, and 12. And so watching them as kind of teens, that's a rough time in your life, watching them really serve and love these kids, like love the heck out of them. It was just super unifying. So really, I think of those times that we all came together. Hosting sometimes is like, you got to drop everything. You're going to the hospital right then, or whatever it is. And watching my kids drop everything, and want to and know and agree that this is what the mission that we've signed up for, and Jesus is going to empower us to do that. And so I think that's a high for me of being like, we're on mission together. We're super unified.
It does look different for our kids.
Yes.
Than peers, even Christian peers.
Yes.
It brings a different level of, okay, this is real. And I'd much rather figure that out under the roof of my home.
Yes. Yeah.
Than off in college thinking Christian life is easy life, and then all of a sudden it's not. Yeah.
I think another piece that's sweet for me is knowing that my kids have suffered. And their suffering, the first, suffering, I feel like we did together. And I don't know, there's something real about that they could come back home and know that we all know what it looks like to suffer in our faith together. And yeah, it's maturing, I think, in their faith. It like does mature them some in good ways. They're still kids, but like in good ways that makes their faith real.
Have you seen people be, whether it's in the church or outside of the church, be sort of adverse to the idea of your kids suffering because of something you're choosing to do?
Definitely. I think that we have a wonderful community around us, immediately in our church who gets it and knows why we're doing this. But for sure, it feels tricky to say I'm a parent trying to love my kids well and I am signing them up for suffering. That is a little confusing to people who maybe are thinking like we should protect our kids and that's the best thing. I do think this is protective of my kids' faith because it's making it really real to them, that they know, that they know that the Lord is not going to abandon, that they can depend on him, that what we believe about his character is true and still is true when things are hard. So we do a lot of those kind of studies as a family, and we're in a season of rest right now. We've done a lot of hosting, hard hostings, and so we're resting a bit and we're studying God's character right now because we all need that reminder of like God is still good. And I think that is, the world does kind of look at us like, why are you doing that? But as a parent, I think it is a really sweet gift that we're giving our kids, that your faith is not built on nothing, like we have walked hard things and God is still with us through that. And with these kids that we love.
What have been, so we talked about some highs for your family. What have been like the hard things?
Yeah, so we had our very first hosting, second hosting now. Our second hosting was a long hosting. It was turned into a longer hosting. Really sweet times with this mom and her daughter. And then later, an older son that we got to really know their family. They spent Christmas with us. They spent Thanksgiving with us. Like we were very close to this family. Hosting kind of ended abruptly, and my youngest, my daughter, was ages where she was really close to this little girl, and I think some lows were watching her have to go on and function in her life when she was under heavy grief about that loss of relationship. And I could relate as an adult, feeling like, well, now I have to go do my day job, but I'm grieved. My spirit is grieved. I'm so sad. And I could see that she was having some of that same. So we were actually super supported by the MVM staff. Mandy on staff just gave us this sweet practice to do of writing this little girl a letter. And my Gracie girl, really, I could see that being releasing for her of, telling this little girl how much we love her. And honestly, I think I needed the practice too,
But frequently we do,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
It can be simple for us,
right?
And something recommended for a child.
But it was,
Sometimes
really,
that's like where we are. It's
yep.
like, I need a childlike activity too. Like I was saying in the previous podcast, like I got groanings right now.
Yeah.
So give me something to do that's pretty simple.
Yep. Yeah. So that was sweet. That was a low. Another low for me is, it's funny how like I'm a host family, but have also kind of stepped into some coaching roles, and watching a mom really, really be in a dark place and having to make some like decisions with her that were really like she was in a dangerous place mentally. And I just remember really being so full of compassion for her and how like sad she was, but also just so sad. Like it was just a hard situation with addiction and just where she was at. So I can think of that being a low. After that, I think it kind of, I would be lying if I didn't have some like, God, what are you doing? This is not the story I had written.
Yeah.
This mom was gonna go to treatment, be better, and get her kids back.
And that's why we stepped in, so that could happen, right?
Right, yeah. That's not the story that was written, though that family is doing great. But I just think often I have these, like, I have to give up Okay, I actually am not the savior.
Yep.
Thank the Lord. But this is a story that I had written that it went another way, and God is still in control. I do think I've said multiple times when I'm telling people about this ministry that if you want to reevaluate your theology, that God is a genie and that you just pray to the genie and he answers, like that is...
This is a good way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are not in control, and the way you write this, you're writing the story is probably not going to be the way it goes. But I think that those lows are where, as we're kind of talking about lament, it's where my, okay, I say God is good. His word says he's good. Yeah. And just because this story didn't go like I thought it was going to go, the story is not done being written. Yeah. And we have also had some sweet, long time passes hearing some other things that have happened with families that we've been in relationship with, and just being reminded God is still writing stories. Yeah. And I think clinging to that hope too, that he's writing things either in this life or the next.
That's exactly what I was just thinking, both here in this life and for eternity. Yep. I think oftentimes we don't know where we are in the story that enters into our lives and into our homes. Are we on the up, or are we somewhere still on the down? And the up is coming, and it doesn't mean that the Lord's not going to use what's happening even on the down, and that's
or that his character is any different than it was when we were at the high.
Yeah.
I think that's been a good lesson for me of God's character is unchanging. He will not abandon this child or me.
And nothing is wasted.
Yeah.
I become more and more, the longer I'm in this work and the more little stories I hear, I have to give room to those stories.
Yeah.
Because I just actually got a text message this weekend from a previous host family who went through really hard things with a mom. And it's okay, I got to stop what I'm doing and acknowledge, this mom is still in her life. And things aren't perfect for this mom, but man, they just threw a birthday party together with both their families. There's a lot of good there. Yeah. We're in the middle of good things all the time.
Yep.
And if we let the grief speak too much into that, we miss those things.
Yeah.
Or if we become too obsessive with fixing stuff, we miss the good that he's doing in the midst of the hard.
I'm thinking of another low, which is I just had I don't even remember exactly what the precipitous to this was, but I remember having a baby in our home, learning some news that was very difficult, and just falling to my knees and sobbing over this baby and thinking, I can't keep you safe. I personally am not going to be able to predict your future and tell you that it's going to be easy or safe. And the Lord kind of whispered to me, but I can. It was just a surrender of I can love this child as they are in my home. I love what you just said. Nothing I'm doing here is wasted. But ultimately, Jesus is the one that is going to keep her safe. And it makes me think the safest place any of us can ever be is in the will of God. And that's what we were praying over this little one, Nothing I'm going to do day to day is going to keep her out of any harm or have an easy life. But yeah, I think that was a sweet.
Are there certain practices that you have found are helpful to put into place in your home? You've already mentioned a few, but even in your personal walk with the Lord when you're going through these hard things.
Yeah. So I in our church, former Bible study we were a part of, I met a woman named Agnes. Agnes was 98 years old, and she didn't sleep. I'm being serious as the person that I think of is the most angelic person I've ever met. She didn't sleep. She stayed up all night and she just prayed out loud. She would walk the halls. And one time I was sharing with her Agnes, I'm really suffering. And she said, have you asked Jesus for mercy? And I remember thinking, well, no, I just told him I'm mad.
Yeah.
And she said, I need you to ask him for mercy. He will give you that. He is, he is mercy. And I remember thinking that, and I several times in hostings we've had, I thought, I'm at the end of my rope. Like, why isn't this going the way I want it to go? Or why is this so difficult? Or this baby hasn't slept in 10 days and it's so tired. And just stopping what I was doing, laying everything down, getting physically on my knees and saying, mercy, Jesus, I just need your mercy. And he gives it, like, in those moments. So it's been a place of surrender, I think, to be able to have that practice of just saying, no, I need to ask for some mercy. I think another thing is when you're in the middle of hard, it's so human of us and easy to judge the situation. Like, well, if you would just do X, Y, and Z, it would be better, or let me tell you. And I think in those moments when I catch myself having that line of thinking, asking God for compassion. It's just a practice that we'll do as a family when I notice that I'm feeling it, because I'm sure my kids are thinking it too. They're not dumb. Like, they know, like, this is hard. Why can't it just be easier or whatever? And so we'll just sit down together and just spend some time in prayer saying, Jesus, please give us more compassion. And that is always a practice that it pays dividends, right? Like that, the more compassion I pray for, the more he seems to give me for these families.
Yeah, no, that's so good. That's so good. Lori, one of our other supervisors who's been doing this work a lot longer than me, is so good at when I'm walking alongside a host family that's really going through it and struggling, she'll always say, how do you think their compassion is for mom? And I'll be like, I didn't even think to ask them that, but I will now. And we call them and see if we can gently, work through that. I think
another one, just super practically, is this is hard work and it's okay to ask for help. I think that I have had to learn as an achiever, and that sometimes the strongest thing I can do is say I need some help. And for my family, when I'm sensing that my kids or my spouse and I need a break, it's okay to say to our care community, hey, could we need a family night? Especially when we've done hostings that are longer, we have we take a family night on a Friday night and we'll get a babysitter if someone from the church comes. That's super practical, but has been a practice, I think, that has really helped us.
No, that's good. I was going to ask too, what other experiences have you had with your church community that have been helpful, healing? How have they entered into the hard with you?
Yeah, I think that, I think it was the Gospel Primer, maybe. It's a little study, but it's a book that basically just shares the gospel every day. Like, you're just reading the gospel to yourself. And when I'm in the middle of hard and I'm questioning God and I'm wrestling with him and I'm angry, I think the best thing the church can do for me is remind me of the gospel. I need to hear that. It is medicine for me when I'm struggling and doubting God, or trying to feel like, why aren't you showing up? You said you would show up. To have one of my friends from my church say, just the gospel, just speak it to me, that is really healing for my heart, to believe that, Jesus did come for this. This is why he came. There is grace for this. Eternal perspective is sweet. Just being like my friends who sit with me when I'm in a time of grieving and just say, this is so hard. This world is broken. We're promised heaven. We're promised that God is going to set all of this right. I think that sounds so simple. Again, these are things that little kids need.
Those
but
reminders.
Yeah, it is.
I think sometimes a grief can make us very short-sighted too.
Yeah.
And man, we are just feeling the weight of this thing and it's weighing us down. And we can get a little bit, narrow focused. And so having the body around us to say, hey, I'm going to remind you, like you said, of the truth that Jesus died for us and is coming back. Or, this world, someday he promises he's going to come wipe away every tear.
All the tear,
We need that.
Yeah, I think that another one is just, I can be really stubborn. And when I'm mad, I want to stay mad. And sometimes a good friend, what they're doing for me when I'm in grief or just in a hard situation, is just being present. I hear that you're really struggling. God's not afraid of that. Or even just reminding me of the truth, simple truths. I do have some identity truths written out that a lot of my good girlfriends have, who will say those things back to me, because I can start to get like a little bit backwards in my thinking on like, wait, am I trying to fix things? Am I not? You know, all that. So like just reminding me of my identity is, God will never leave you. He's not going to leave these kids. He like his character, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Just reminding me of God's character.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And the verdict is in.
Yeah.
On you, and what you have or have not done.
Yep.
It's already been declared over you as righteousness.
Yes. And I think just that reminder of like what you're doing isn't wasted. Yeah. That's an easy lie to be whispered of like, look, you poured out all this to this family and it didn't matter. And you know, circumstances are still bad. Maybe. Yeah. Or it didn't go, you know, as you wanted. A good thing to say to someone who's in the throes of the hard is nothing is wasted. Jesus will not let this go wasted, and love for him is currency, and you've put a bunch of currency in the bank here. So yeah, that's a sweet reminder too.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Well, when I thought of who can we invite to speak on Lament, who has walked through hard things, there was a very small handful of families that came to mind who have been through some hard things in our ministry, and you're one of them.
Yay!
I know. Congratulations for being in that club. And she's still with us. She's still here. She's still saying yes. So why, you know, when there have been hard stories, when you've walked alongside addiction, mental health, and some really hard things that we all battle with, but you know, walked really closely with families alongside them, why are you still saying yes?
Yeah. I think that this one is a little bit difficult for me to answer, because sometimes I think it's just that I feel like God called us to this and there's an obedience. Like God called us to this, I have no doubt. I've seen the positive to my family. I've seen how good it is for my own faith. So yeah, there is an obedience that is like, okay, Lord. But the real of it is I've also been blessed by it. As hard as it has been in several, I mean, we have had some tough, but here's the truth. We've had such sweet relationship, and relationship is messy. So there's hard that comes with good. Yeah. And so I think we have had the privilege of walking very closely with some families. Maybe that's not always the case, but for us, these are moms that have become dear, close friends. And so I think, Jesus calls us to relationship, would I say no to that? No, I would say yes.
That's really good. Yeah, I think you're pointing out the good and the hard about the work that family preservation is, in that it's intentionally relational, especially the way that the MBM model has been set up. We are very intentional about this being relational, not transactional.
Yes.
So get ready to get your hands dirty as a result of that, so to speak, or care too much or more than other people think you should.
That's something that when you think of like what people say that, why would you, what are people, thinking you're doing something crazy? Often I hear like, why are you so in their lives? Like, why? But like, that is what I said yes to, like that relationship piece. And in some ways, like I've learned so much from these moms about what it means to be resilient. And I have so much respect for these moms who were willing to be vulnerable and ask for help and be so strong. I don't know that I could do that, and so, would I say I feel yes. I feel like I would say yes over and over again. I am being strengthened in my faith, and I'm watching my family be strengthened in theirs.
That's good.
And we have these babies that we have gotten to love. Like it's just a sweet, that we consider part of our family. So, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
The thing that I appreciate about, so I always say I could never do this line of work outside of being in a Christian ministry. Like I don't know how people do it.
No.
I would not last a day for so many reasons if I wasn't in a Christian organization doing family preservation. Strongly recommend not doing this.
Yeah, without Jesus, that
Without
would be very
Jesus.
difficult.
One of the things that I love about that is that we have this juxtaposition, like we've been talking about, of the hard and the joy at the same time, and it's this mystery.
Yeah.
Sometimes we feel it here at the office as a staff, that man, today was hard, and there was joy in the work. So I just wanted to end by like, what is one joyful, funny story that your family just delights in because of the work in this ministry, even if it's a hard one?
Yep.
We'd love to hear.
So I have a good one. It was hard at the time. One of my friends who we hosted for has a child with profound autism, and he was not getting the services he needed from the school system. So me as a I'm gonna fix this. I went in, I marched in with her, I educated myself on getting an IEP and what that whole process was, and we went in together. We felt like I was trying to empower her, to advocate for her kids. She did such a good job. I was so proud of her. And as we're sitting in this round table with, all the people at the school, it was pretty intimidating. We're asking for things. And as we're sitting at the table, this man who worked for the school system was like, so who are you? Who do you work for? Mm-hmm. And my friend who I was hosting for and had just become a dear friend goes, she works for Jesus Christ. And the whole room just went silent. And then we just moved on.
Did they say anything back? No one was going to touch that.
No, they were
Everyone was like, we're moving on.
They just left it, and we just kind of left it. It was hilarious.
I love that.
I think they asked that because it was an unlikely friend. I was her support person. I had kind of done some research on what things we should ask, and so I had given her those things. So she was kind of turning to me almost like an advocate would. Yeah. Which is kind of the role I was filling. But I didn't work for anybody, I was just her support person. It just was a hilarious situation. So now in my family, when when one of my kids comes to me like, this is what we're doing, and I'm like, who do you work for? They'll be like, Jesus Christ.
I love that. I love that. Yeah. It is, we do look different in the work that we do, though.
So I'm sure they were like, what is happening here? Yeah.
It's so good on that level, too, though. It because our work looks different because we do it in the name of Jesus. Yeah. But in that room, I'm sure it was like, just gonna.
Yeah, just moving on.
We didn't ask that question.
I think the guy was like, oh.
I love that. Yeah. Oh, Jess, we're so glad to have your family, your sweet family, as a volunteer. And I think I've made many of the phone calls to you about these hostings.
Yes.
So the fact that you are still my dear friends.
Yeah, of course.
And not just my dear friend, but our date night companions oftentimes with you and Dave. We are thankful for you guys and for your kids and the work you do. So thanks for speaking to all this today.
Of course. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
We gotta finish this out now. So
tomorrow's the next day.
Tomorrow's the next day.